Welcome to Garden Sanity. I'm Laura, and today I'm going to show you who won the battle between the huge nor'easter rainstorm that we had and our Limelight Hydrangea Tree. But first, before I show you who won, I want to show you what it looked like yesterday, the calm before the storm. So here it is on Tuesday morning, and this is pre-storm. So it's about 9:30 in the morning, and the winds really haven't started yet. So things are still pretty calm. This is the extent of our winds right now. But the tree sure looks pretty, doesn't it? I really love all the dried flowers. So this is a little different start to January than we've had previously. Here's some footage of when I was showing you how to gently remove the snow when you have a snowstorm so that you can preserve these beautiful dried flowers. But no snow this year, although west of us and north of us are getting pounded with snowstorms. We're just getting pounded with lots of rain, and this nor'easter is going to be a doozy. We'll see how much of this stays up. I'm not worried about the branches. The branches are all very, very sturdy because of the way I prune it, so I'm not worried about those. It's just cosmetically, it's the flowers. But that's okay. To me, that's part of winter, is you start out with beautiful dried flowers, and as the winter goes on and we start getting tired of winter, the flowers get just a little bit tired too. Now just below is a very large winter gem boxwood, which is holding on to some flowers that already fell off. And then down here by the shooting star hellebores is a whole collection that have already come off the tree. There's a whole bunch, which is a nice contrast to the beautiful hellebore flowers that are just starting to bud out. Next to a beautiful Mediterranean pink heath. There's a little bit of pretty color there. But today we want to see how this does in the storm tonight. And just to give you an overview of some of the other hydrangeas that I've got, this is a firelight also in the backyard, with some hanging on, some about to fall off. And this is on the other side to give you a sense of where the Limelight Hydrangea Tree is. We also have some beautiful, almost like a silver white is how these are drying. These are the little quickfire hydrangea dried flowers. And boy, do they look pretty. And whereas this one is mostly white, you go over to this guy on the end, and he's a little more beige. It's just really neat to take a really close-up look and notice. It's just another way of finding some beauty during a kind of a downtime in the garden. And of course, some more, I call these tumbleweeds when they start rolling around the backyard. So here we are, the next morning. Are you ready for this? It's a blue sky out here now. So it's a little deceiving how bad the storm was, but look what happened. Yeah, and if it's kind of hard to tell what happens, let me show you this. I think there was just one in here yesterday. This is the winter gem boxwood that's nicely holding the other ones. But then I have more winter interest at ground cover level. That's what I'm going to call this. Look at all this. All the big flower heads. At least they stayed in the bed for the most part. I mean, a few escaped. But for the most part, these guys are here. And again, just to show you some beauty, we got some hellebores coming out too. So as much as I'd like to leave the new ground cover of dried hydrangea flower heads, those will be coming out. Probably not today, but I'll get there. So yeah, this is what they look like. All the stems are standing. Okay, there's no stems that broke, which is great. But again, that's because this nor'easter that we had was all rain. We did not get any snow. Now, rumor has it we may actually get a snowstorm next week around the 16th, I think it is, of January. So we'll see what happens to the rest of these guys. But I was looking at some old videos of mine, well, from not old, but from last winter, almost to the day, and the winter before, almost to the day. And I'm going to link to each of those at the end of this one, because last year I was showing you what to look for this time of year on your hydrangea tree. You know, look at how the stems are, take a look if there's any crossing branches, really get to know your tree, because now is when you can really see what all of the stems look like without the leaves covering things up. And 2 years ago, I did a video in the middle of a snowstorm showing you how to get the snow off of your dried flower heads so that they don't, you know, weigh the tree down. Now, if you are in a zone where you get a lot of snow, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, you probably don't want to leave these on for winter interest. I mean, this is what's going to happen. You know, they're going to just fall off like this. Now you can either leave this, or, you know, maybe it'll come off if you wanted to prune it off. But that is what my suggestion would be to you. And you can even do this now without harming the tree. Let's take this guy, for example. Let's say, you know, you're thinking, I really don't want these to weigh the tree down. We're going to get a foot of snow. You can go up to your stem, and you don't have to do the whole branch. What you can do is you can do just to where the flower head is. So you could take your pruners, you come in, and you just prune right there, and you take the flower heads off that way. And you can do that all over the tree without causing any damage to it whatsoever. And as you see, I have a lot of bobbing flower heads now. So last year, I was so excited when I did my video, and I'll link to it at the end, where the tree looked absolutely beautiful. It looked like it did when I showed you yesterday, right? Earlier in this video. And it stayed that way till maybe mid-February, because we really didn't have any snow. We had like one dusting. So this is what happens when you have a nor'easter. The nor'easter, I would say, I think it, do I want to say it won? I'd say it was kind of even, because all the flowers aren't gone. And the tree is still standing quite proudly. But I do think it put up a good fight, and the nor'easter was pretty brutal. And I don't mean to make light of the storm, because there was a lot of flooding in this area, as well as north and south of us here in New Jersey, and probably into Pennsylvania and Delaware. And I even heard early this morning, by around 7:30, I heard tree saw. Someone doing some electric sawing, so I don't know if that means a tree was down. We have power, so I don't mean to make light of the storm, because it probably was pretty bad for a lot of people. But I did want to show you what the tree looks like after a storm. We have a beautiful blue sky sunny day. It's almost amazing. It always amazes me, actually. It's not almost amazing. It is amazing how beautiful the weather always is after a storm. So here's what it looked like yesterday. And here's what it looks like today. If you live in an area prone to storms and you want to cut the flowers off, not a bad idea to do it. You can do that today with no damage to the tree. Or you can do what I do and let Mother Nature and nor'easters prune the tree for you, or at least prune the flower heads off. Enjoy these two videos where you can see what the tree looked like last year. I've got plenty of tips on what to look for in your tree. And then 2 years ago, I showed you again how to get snow off your flower heads during a storm so that they won't be weighed down that much after the storm. Until next time, happy gardening.